Hi, I'm Rosie.
Yay, I'm back on YouTube.
Welcome to my channel where I look into what's going on intuitively in the world, from the political to the personal.
You can book personal readings on my website, rosieinsights.com.
Everybody, welcome. Doors is like investigator hella, huh? Everybody, welcome. Roses like investigator. Okay, so guys, today is Thursday, December 5th. It's very late here in New York City. Mhm. And I know some people some people ask, Rosie, are you in a box? No, I am not in a box. I am at a co-working space called WeWork. And inside WeWork, they have these phone booths. And it's one day I'll show you. I've shown this before, but I'll do a tour. So it's nice. It's nice and fun. Okay. So anyways, so I'm actually going to try. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try today to do the closed captions. I tried with a short video, it worked, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see if it's going to show. If not, then you're just gonna have to watch it on YouTube. So it's just me today. And so I've had this channel since I think it's 2017. So I've had periods where I went off YouTube and I was mostly on Patreon, so I came back. And ever since the election, I've been doing videos with Karina. But days like today, they're so long and that I've had so much going on. I still want to do a video, but it's much faster if I just do it like this. Okay. It's it's like I throughout the day I organize the topics and then I can just go over the topics with you because I feel like even though there's times when there isn't a ton of breaking news, like today, there aren't a ton of breaking topics, but I know some of you rely on this to catch up on the news. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So let's just go over what's going on in the world. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So let's get started. Let's get started. So I'm going to do this version, and it's always kind of interesting because I tend to go off topics. And where I'm just going to do kind of a review of topics and see if there's anything new to add. Okay. So, all right. So I want to say also that as I was preparing for this and I was adding the topics throughout the day, I was getting this feeling that things are about to kind of explode. And it's interesting because as I'm looking through the threads and the different topics, it things are moving, even if it seems like they're not moving. Okay. So now here we have the what's going on in Romania. I know people asked. So it's official. Russia did rig the Romanian presidential election in only 2 months' time, bringing an obscure fascist nobody from obscurity to number one in first round presidential elections. So, all right. So that's interesting, right? You see that there's been a lot of movement, and on Sunday it's the second round of the election. So let's see what's happening. Any updates from Romania? What's going on? Spirit, tell me. Oh, and the protection. I know a lot of you mentioned I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I feel my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that create the good and only the good. And so it is. Okay, so it's interesting. Immediately as I close my eyes, I get this prompt and reminder to pay attention to what's in, not what's out. So the excitement and the excited voice, um, it's saying, there's a lot of information, there's a lot going on, but just look into what's going on from what you see in your internal eye. Okay, so what's going on in Romania? It's so interesting. I see this image of people. Elena is the kind of on the left here. So as if she's not being punched, but the whole thing that happened was very shocking to everybody. And then she's sitting on a table and giving applause and saying, now let's reveal the cards, meaning we are showing who this person really is. And then he's screaming and he can't stop it. And it really makes a big difference. And it shows the country coming together. So let's ask the question, is Russia going to take over Romania? Let's just say it. No, they're pushing for it. They're making a big effort. But I see that it's possible to avert it. Now, it's interesting. I was not asking about this, but I'm getting this. You know how apparently Robert RFK Jr. is going over there. But I see again this image of the plane turning back. Isn't that interesting? Even though I was not asking about it, I was just asking about Romania. So in other words, suggesting that his visit has something to do with Russia? Really? Really? No? Okay. Okay. Now this is something that I've been following. I'm sure a lot of you have been following also for a long time. So Havana syndrome is this thing that has been going on for a few years now. It's been in the news on and off. That a lot of people working in diplomats working in different countries have suffered these uh, symptoms that sort of can't be explained and that they describe. So it's called essentially Havana syndrome, and in places like Cuba, Russia, right, places where, let's say, there's something shady going on, right? So then what is most interesting about this is that now, there was investigations, and remember how I think the person who was responsible for these investigations, and I think in the CIA, um, spoke publicly about it, saying that there was no conclusive evidence. But now they're changing the tune. They're starting to say publicly that in fact it has happened. So what I think is most interesting about this is that I've never once it came out that it wasn't, I think it was last year here. So they said at first that there was nothing strange about it. I did never bought into this. And now they're starting to come out and say, yes, there's something wrong. There's something strange. And why is it? What has changed about it? What has changed is that now the government is starting to finally feel comfortable telling the population what's really going on. Because channels like mine have been saying that there's something really shady going on in general. Our nation is under attack, right? So now here it is. So this person, I can't believe I only discovered him recently. So this is a journalist who writes about intelligence. He's amazing, Michael D. Wise. So you can look him up. You can look him up online. There's interviews of him in the parliament in the different countries of the EU. He talks about Russian hybrid warfare and all that. So here it is. He links to an article that he wrote, concluded a year-long investigation pointing at evidence that a Russian military intelligence, specifically GRU Unit 29155, was likely behind AHI. So this is serious, right? We have been under attack by a foreign adversary. And what I'm going to talk about today in terms of this is that just as we have been under attack in terms of elections, and something the government, oh no, there's nothing to see here. They didn't want the population to be scared or whatever. And this is how we got to today, because nobody wanted to like rock the boat, but we have to rock the boat. And this is the beginning of a movement where they're rocking the boat. They're seeing what's really going on. Okay, so so my question about this, I'm not going to go read the article right now because I want to do a relatively brief episode today. Um, so what I want to talk about today is the question I want to answer now is, does this mean that this does this signify a change in the government's attitude towards what is going on? Meaning, are we getting ready to learn more about what's been going on from Earth, right? And those kinds of things. So, tell me, what does this mean? Yes. Yes, it's saying that there's okay, people in the intelligence community who have, and people even who are just diplomats, not necessarily, let's say, spies or whatever you call it, intelligence officers and stationed in different countries, that this has happened to a lot of people, and and I see that they feel it. They want to talk about it. They can't talk about it because they're not allowed to speak about it because of the national security implications and the idea that people are going to quote unquote get scared. But at the same time, they have experienced real things. Okay, so yes, that's right. So finally they are believed, and then it's saying that we stop with the taboo. Like, we have to just talk about it. We have been under attack, and this is a form, right? They're attacking Americans, right, in foreign soil. So this is part of it. Okay, it's part of a pattern that's they're removing, because now look at what we have here, a situation happening with the trash they want to install in the government. And I don't think they're legitimate. I don't think they're going to stay, but this is the situation as it is. Okay, so yes, it's also, it's saying that it signifies that there's no more shame. Just say it, just explain what's going on and do something about it. And it's saying that it shows me that over time there's all these people, the Rand Pauls of the world, let's just say, and they were, oh no, there's nothing going on. Oh, no, Russia is an innocent country. They do nothing different, nothing is special. So people are being constantly gaslit into making statements that are just not truthful. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. That the big picture here is that this shows there's something going on, but that we're starting to make it public. Okay. Now, this is something that I keep postponing. Okay. Oh, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. And I never do. I know I'm going to delete it if I don't just talk about it quickly here today. So, so this is gross, honestly. This is Jeff Bezos. Remember how Jeff Bezos, he had bought the Washington Post and he wrote, "Oh, democracy, was it dies in darkness or something?" And now here he is loving Trump. Oh, President Trump. Oh, I love him. Oh, here, no, just kidding. He's putting lipstick. No, I am. So, so Jeff Bezos says he's very optimistic about the Trump presidency. Says that Trump has a lot of energy about reducing regulations. And by the way, we know that the current Biden administration has been very vocal about going after Amazon for uh monopoly. Okay, and that Lena Khan, I love Lena Khan, by the way. She is the person in the government who is going after all these big companies for monopoly, for antitrust regulation, essentially. So Jeff Bezos hates it, and so now suddenly he loves Trump. So the question is, what's up? What is there something else to this story? Was there some sort of blackmail? What has happened? Why has Jeff Bezos changed his tune towards Trump? Okay, so it's saying yes, he was very happy to be the savior, to be seen as a quote unquote do-gooder, until he had to say pay more, he would have to pay more taxes, number one. Number two, he would have a lot less power. And it's saying that, and I see the government cutting Amazon. So yes. So and it's not that it's like there's no, it's not that you have to hate somebody who's a millionaire. No, but to him, at the end of the day, my life and my business is more important than the day-to-day lives of everyday people. So yes, I'm willing to make deals and do whatever it takes to not end up in a situation where when I get losses. And also I see that in a weird way, he's jealous of Elon Musk because he sees how Elon Musk, and I think a lot of people think that Elon Musk is not that smart. He's just a self-promoter and he gets all these things. And now Jeff Bezos also has a space company. He wants to compete with Elon Musk. So, so yeah, so it's basically corruption. He wants to he wants to not have to deal with antitrust regulation. So that's the story. All right. Now, Syria update. So it looks like as you probably already know, that there have been a lot of developments in Syria, and now they're taking the city, the rebels have taken this series, the city of uh of Homs, Homs, and so only 24 hours after losing Hama. Now Hama, a long story, I was re-listening to this book about the Syria civil war, which I had listened to before years ago. But it talks about how Hama was a place where his father, his father was president starting in the 70s. For decades he was president, then he passed it on to his son. And there was a massacre in Hama because Hama was a strong Sunni Muslim, was a stronghold of the Sunnis in Syria, and there was always the resistance against the minority government of the Al Assads, right? They're Alawite. So it's a minority, it's a 20% of the population, it used to be. So long story, the fact that they're losing control of these parts, like because then they went in and they massacred all these people. No matter what you think of him, whether it's good or bad, I know there's an argument to be made that at least he's not a religious fundamentalist, Assad. But it's like the it's really pretty crazy what's going on. So 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 this is a question. Is Damascus is the capital of Syria? So what's going on? And I had, by the way, I had talked to somebody earlier today, and I had seen that Syria will be split into four parts, and it will not be as violent like this. It's just that essentially the way that Assad has ruled is that he has treated parts of the country as if they're not, right? As if it's his country, is just him, and he every all the Alawites will own everything, and it's kind of like a mafia, and then they harass and harm everybody else. And so, long story. I also have read and watched different interesting reports about how even Ukraine has maybe has trained these fighters. It's changed from the ISIS days into something somewhat more moderate, even though the person who's the head of these groups supposedly is still on the most wanted list. Long story. So it's a mess. Essentially, it would take hours to just explain all of it. But that's where you are. So the question is, what's going on with Damascus? Is he? Yes, I see it. You know what I see? Said for him. No, and the reason why I'm happy to see him lose is because honestly, I'm not a fan of Russia. Not a fan of Russia. Putin is messing up the world. I'm so done with this. And Assad is very much a Putin conquest, right? He Russia made a big helped him a lot, and they thought they were going to get all this stuff out of him because he was going to be the forever king of Syria. No. So if he loses, I see him like, remember, I had seen it when I had that vision of him in the Four Seasons, whatever hotel in Moscow. Um, that was kind of like, he's like, oh. And I see reports, that's what I see on television. They're gonna go to his house. They're gonna take over the house. They're gonna and the woman's like, oh my God, my Chanel's, they're taking my designer clothes or something. So yes, I think they're gonna take, he's gonna have to he's going to have to live with Russia. I live in Russia. Living in Russia. You like it, huh? A great country, lots of immigrants. No. So that's the story. All right. Okay. Now, interesting. Now this is this is guys, by the way, long story, another long story. It could take an hour to just explain the whole thing with Hungary. So the American far right has been obsessed. Peter Thiel loves Hungary. And this is like if things go according to plan, I think there's a disruption to this. Thank God. But this is his goal is the Hungarian model, where they have this fascist government where the media is completely owned by the government and it only ever says what the government wants, which is kind of like where we got around the election, right? They just say they don't question anything, they just take it completely. Now, guys, by the way, but I'm looking at this image and immediately I'm oh okay, let's go back. Now I'll double click. I went to do you notice how he's a little too yellow? Does he have a liver problem? Honestly, look at him. It's not, sometimes it's a computer. Oh my God, I click on it and it just keeps getting me out of there. So it's kind of, have you noticed? He looks a little, I've always seen him falling and dying and stuff like that. He always see him falling first before anyone else and any of the fascist ones. But here it is. Hungary on the brink of losing 1 billion in EU funding, frozen because of pro-Russian Orban's rule of law breaches. It's reported that unless it can carry out 17 measures and gain the European Commission's approval by December 31st, the 1 billion is gone for good. So this is what happens, right? All these dictators love Russia, and then when Russia has no more money for them, and the EU is done with the BS, they woke up finally. So what's happening? Tell me what's happening with Hungary. That's right. And I see interesting. Yes, I see literally an image of him getting his butt kicked, a figurine of a man kicking him in the butt, and then he gets kicked. I don't think he's gonna get kicked out of the EU, but he's gonna lose it all. And that's because it's saying the only reason that was sort of like the only thing that was keeping him in power. Once he loses that, then the country of Hungary is going to go into so much trouble. They're going to have to find somebody else. And I see adding Putin, also falling. It's not going to work very well for him. So yeah, so I think it's interesting. It's the snowball of downfalls from people that would connect to that. Okay, now my boyfriend, I know the boy is mine. Was that they need to give it all? Had about it. The boy is mine. The boy is mine. Oh yeah. Maybe he's gay. Who knows? Nobody knows. I'm just kidding, right? It's not like for real. Just have a crush on him. So this is I follow the account of NATO. Mhm. I stand. NATO, I stand. So so this is him today, December 5th. He's called Zelensky today. And see, this is Montenegro is another one country that's fighting really hard to stay away to kind of fight the Russian invasion situation, right? So look at what he's doing today. Yesterday he was shaking hands with Montenegro. Today he's calling Zelensky. So we know what side he's on. Oh yeah, girl. So what's Mark doing today? Like I see he's having a little sandwich for lunch. And what else? So, oh, by the way, the thing that people mock the Dutch for is that over there in the Netherlands, they consider there's one warm meal of the day. Everybody just has bread with cheese inside. And I see that he's having a coq monsieur, that's a ham and cheese warmed up, but that's fancy, but still is a sandwich because that's what they have for lunch. In the Netherlands is not fancy at all. So he's like just having a little sandwich at his desk while or something to that effect. But he's just working. He works really hard. Okay, so that's right. What are you doing, Mark? Tell me. That's right. He's having a sandwich. Tell me more. Yes, we're trying to get it started. And I see that it's interesting. He does not have a military background, as we know. Uh, but it's nice because he has the diplomatic kind of, it's not facade. It's like he's really a more diplomatic person, while the people that are working in it are the military. So he's like, hello, yes, by the way, the Dutch accent is very hard to imitate because the sounds of the Dutch language are very complicated. I know because I learned it. I paused my learning of Dutch because it's very complicated. But long story, the point is that that there's a, are you ready for action? Yes, we are very ready for, it's very complicated. I don't know. It's weird how I still need to get it together with the Dutch accent. I don't have it, but this is it. So he's ready for, that's right, let's fight back. And he's very positive. He has this interesting nature. Like he's definitely no wallflower. Okay, he's not a pushover. He's aggressive, but like with a smile. Not like with, he's just nice. He's nice. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. So now I know I got requests also for Georgia updates. Now here is, so they're fighting really hard. It's very difficult over there because Russia has sent in they're basically like sending reinforcements to their police force, whatever, but there's a lot of people fighting back. There's a lot of people resisting. And by the way, there, like as you guys know, there was this war in maybe you don't know, 2014, 4 or 5 days, Russia quickly crushed them. But it feels like this time is different, but I don't know. So what is happening here is Blinken issues a statement on Georgia announcing the United States is not preparing to use the tools at our disposal, including additional sections. But okay, so what's going on in Georgia? Wow, I see them being very quite violent. But and then I see the whistle, and then I see this that NATO has to act in order for this Georgia issue to be reversed, because if nothing is done militarily against Russia, as far as the EU and NATO, then they're gonna continue to do this. They're not, it's like we know this story, right? They're not afraid. They're gonna continue to harass. I continue to harass to take country. You were complaining. I go over, I take country because I don't like it when people have bad things to say about Rush. I go over there. You have big. What are you looking at me like this for? I go take country because you do not have a choice. Russia bigger country. Russia bigger country. Take a small country. That is how our story is made. Okay, understanding? Understanding? Huh? So, so, so that's that. So I see that Georgia could revert, could get rid of the Russian influence when NATO does something about attacks. Okay. All right. So, oh, I'm getting a message here from Mark. Okay, Mark. Rosie, something's happening in less than 4 days. 4 days or so, we're doing something back. Oh no, I don't know. I keep, I'm getting worried, honestly, because we have a deadline for the voting situation here in America. So, all right. So this is it. Now I'm not gonna, honestly, I'm not, here's Putin. He is speaking to soldiers who lost their legs in the war. I don't even want to look at him because I'm so tired of his face. But just to tell you, he's happy. He's kind of seems happy. Look at him smiling. Oh, now. So now here is Elon bringing his child. This is bizarre, right? So, and I went onto it. It's so ridiculous. So Elon Musk brings his child into a meeting with a senator. As you know, and it's interesting, right? This is a guy who's obsessed about impregnating. I think it's putting his semen into women's wombs so that they get pregnant. I don't think it involves actual sexual, honestly, sexual activity. It's just a bizarre obsession with this. And then he brings the child, and someone said, "Oh, look, the pro Elon people, oh, he loves, it's a non-traditional family structure." It's like, oh, just try. Why don't you try bringing your child into a meeting, see what happens? You're gonna get fired because it's all about this bizarre performance art where he's the only one who can do it, right? Oh no, I care about family, right? It's the classic narcissist thing where the family is the object to make him look good. And then once the cameras are no longer rolling, he does not care and probably doesn't even remember their names. Anyway, so that's that. So what's happening actually? What was this meeting like? What the hell is going on with this guy? What are we living through? What the hell is this? Oh, that's right. He's saying Yes, I see that he's bringing the child as a prop, and also he's bringing a child to make himself look inoffensive, when in fact, what he's doing is extremely offensive. He wants to cut benefits to veterans. He wants to cut all kinds of programs. And if he brings a child, then it's like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's not. He's a monster. Okay. So I have a question. So are the changes that, let's say, for example, I know I'm asking this question because I just to confirm what I think, but I want to see what the vision says. So Elon Musk with his dodgy thing. Is he going to execute the changes he has mentioned he wants to make in the government? Interesting. I see that his talk, it's like it shows me him with a big talk. And then there's something like a gate, an electric gate to get into the government. And as soon as he touches that, he gets electrocuted and his head gets cut. So it's saying it's all pretty theater about his ideas, but it's saying he doesn't go in and it doesn't come through. So, so, and this guy, the other guy, Vivek, was also in that meeting. So, okay, so tell me. And I see that I see even those Republican senators have this horrible feeling in their stomach. They just hate the guy, and he's such a prick. And they're like looking at him like, what the? Okay, so, and I see that some of them do think that it's not going to happen. Okay, anyway. So, right, I just feel like there's an air of theater to all of this, as if it's not really going to happen. Okay, all right. So now this is like I'm going very quickly today because I want to cover the news. I want to just quickly show you what I've gathered. Okay. And here is now Lawrence is discussing the fact that Russia television is praising Kash Patel. So it's like in any other time, there would be like an outrage. Oh my God, we can't have, so what the hell's going on? Let's say they're giving orders to all their assets that they have. They must do this. Okay, and then where's the show me Kash Patel? Oh, he's actually, oh wow, they love me over there in Russia. They love me. So what happens to him? And I see interesting, the image of the gate, the government, like getting to the government, or the time when, right, he's actually going to go into the administration. Then, oh, interesting, he shows, the matryoshka doll, I think it's called, those little like wooden dolls that one goes inside the other. Uh, it like he becomes one of those little dolls, and he just wooden things, and he just rolls down and nothing happens. He doesn't. It's almost as if it's all this vision, this big discussion, distraction, but it doesn't come to pass. Okay, and I see again this reminder that all of this discussion about nominees of this and that, it's a distraction from the truth about what happened in the election, and that increasingly even those nominees know that they're not going to come through and it's not going to happen because the whole thing is extremely fraudulent. And I see that they know that they may end up actually in prison. Okay, so now here is exactly, what I making fun of it. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go watch it. Oh.
Мы вообще не хотим ни на кого нападать. Сейчас Соединенные Штаты напали на нас руками украинского режима, ведут против нас войну.
I don't know what he's saying, but Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov made one of his most okay. Russia does not want to attack anyone. It was the USA that attacked Russia through hands of Ukrainian regime. Exactly. But I'm laughing. But it's exactly how they say. Me, no one was attacking no one. I was in my country. America go fund Ukraine to attack me. I did nothing. I was doing nothing. I was just staying there. They said that they go to country Ukraine to attack me. They come attack me. What am I supposed to do? To do nothing? No, I do something. So, So it's just okay. So this is that. Now let's go back here to the main point. So the main point of today is that situation is changing. That in the U.S. the government is starting to be more real about what has happened. I have seen, by the way, comments discussing Gavin Newsom's statements about the election. People are starting to feel more and more like there's something going on. Okay. And slowly I see the tables turning, and then I see actually Mark making this gesture of turning the tables. And things are revealed because it's not as if we don't know what's going on, right? There's a lot of shady things going on. And it's time. It's time for us to face it. Okay. So this is what's happening. Now, tomorrow, I believe Corinna's gonna go, is coming back here. And I have a feeling, I could be wrong, of course, that something big is gonna happen by the mid-afternoon. So we'll have more to discussing. And it's saying, yes, when these big things happen, whether it's an attack or a counterattack, we know that it will come to pass. All of this that we're talking about will have led to this. Oh, and it's telling me, yes, something else that's happening this weekend is that truly Assad is going to be out of there. He's already out of there, apparently in Russia, right? But he is not going to be in power for much longer. Not more Assad. Assad. Okay? All right. So have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay? All right. Bye.